So if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably know we have had a crazy couple of days. And if you're interested in watching kind of the last 2 days unfold, I do have a video I posted at the exact same time as this video that is from yesterday. I filmed it yesterday. So you guys can go there if you want, or if you don't really care to watch like it in chronological order, you can just watch this video because it will make sense, because I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Amanda. If this is your first time watching us, then you're probably on the hunt for people similar in your situation, or you know, you just typed in something that you're looking for and you found this video. So I'm gonna talk about two different things today that our baby girl was first diagnosed with and now not. So I kind of want to go over kind of everything that's happened in the past 2 days. So we found out at our last appointment, which was at 28 weeks, we had a follow-up anatomy scan for her kidneys. So earlier on in my pregnancy, when my first anatomy scan at 20 weeks, they noticed fluid in one of her kidneys. I think they said the left, but it was just one of them. So they noticed that she had a little bit of excess fluid in her kidneys, and they wanted to recheck them in 4 weeks, but it ended up being 5 because of the Christmas break and the new year. So we get to the appointment on Wednesday the 6th, and they check her kidneys and they see that our kidneys are kind of on the smaller side, so they decided to just go ahead and do a full growth scan of her. So after that, the doctor then comes in and tells us that baby is measuring in the 7th percentile, so that makes her small for gestational age. IUGR, intrauterine growth restriction, is anything under the 10th percentile, so she was falling in that range. And she also had a mild pericardial effusion that was measuring at 2 millimeters. And that's like right on the cusp of where they start to worry. Anything under 2 millimeters they consider normal, and they don't really have raised flags. They monitor it, but you know, it's nothing that they're concerned about. But anything 2 millimeters or above, they do get concerned about. So after that appointment, I left with a lot of questions, and I ended up contacting my doctor via like the portal we have. I don't know if you guys have those, but you have like a messaging portal on a website that they have that they use, and you can message your doctor, and it's all confidential, and you know, it's like the same rule. It's like the same thing as talking to your doctor in person. So I messaged a bunch of questions, and like an hour later, I got a response from my doctor, and I also got a call from her assistant. I'm not sure what her assistant's job title is, but I'm assuming she has a title where she is allowed to give out medical information, because my doctor was out at my appointment on Wednesday and I was seeing a different doctor. So my original doctor, the doctor that I go and see, had her assistant call me and answered a bunch of my questions. So she was weighing 2 pounds, 2 ounces, and was measuring in the 7th percentile and had what they called IUGR, which is intrauterine growth restriction. And also the pericardial effusion, 2 millimeters, but she didn't know that much about it. And she was mostly calling to let me know that they had sent the referral to go see a high-risk OB. And that was the appointment that I had today. So today at my appointment, I look like a mess because I didn't sleep the last 2 days. Definitely didn't sleep last night. The ultrasound was extremely uncomfortable this morning. It was long and detailed, which I'm grateful for, but oh my God, I got so uncomfortable, and I was out of breath, and I was starting to feel nauseous, and it was not a good time. But so we get to my high-risk OB appointment, and of course you fill out like all of the paperwork and stuff for a new doctor's office, and most of my stuff had been transferred over to them, but of course we had to go through that process again. So we go in, and the nurse asks us a bunch of questions about like my medical history and past pregnancies and stuff like that, and then the ultrasound tech comes in, does the ultrasound for about 30 to 45 minutes. It was really long, and it was mostly oriented on her heart and measuring her head, her abdomen, and her femur, and her something else they were measuring to kind of put her in her percentile. So we got the results back immediately after that ultrasound, and baby girl was actually measuring to be about the weight of 2 pounds, 6 ounces, and I am 28 weeks. So that's where she should be, according to a lot of research I've done, but she still is measuring on the smaller side, about a week and a half to 2 weeks behind. So we are just having a small baby. She's not unhealthy. She doesn't have what they call intrauterine growth restriction. As of right now, they're kind of like not taking it off the table, but they are proceeding with caution with that, because if you do have that, you are monitored very closely. And I am going to appointments every 2 weeks from now on, and I'm not sure what I am going to go or what they're going to do in my next appointment in 2 weeks, but I am going to call on Monday after they kind of like transfer all the paperwork and stuff and results to my regular OBs. I'm going to call them and make sure they are going to be doing another ultrasound to kind of check the growth of her and see how she's measuring and make sure she is continuously growing. So I am not certain about that aspect. She is small, but me and my husband are both very small people. I'm 5'2", he's not much taller than me. And you know, it's to be expected she has small genes. I mean, he says he wasn't a small baby, but he is a small person. Like he's like, you know, he's not super tall, and you know, he's just like 5'5", I want to say 5'6", maybe in that range. But anyways, the other thing was the pericardial effusion, which was at 2 millimeters. I don't know how in 2 days this just vanishes, but it did. And I guess I should be extremely lucky that they did not see a pericardial effusion. And I trust this ultrasound way more because they took 30 to 45 minutes to really look at her heart. They looked at the blood flow in her heart. They looked at her umbilical cord. They looked at her placenta for the IUGR. They looked at her abdomen, her head, her brain, her kidneys, her liver. They were looking at everything, and everything seemed normal, within normal limits. Smaller size, but normal. So they were not concerned. So they dismissed me from the high risk OB. They said I didn't need to be there anymore and that I could just go back to my regular OB. So with that being said, I don't know if she will have IUGR. You get that diagnosis, but it's kind of a growth trend, like I talked about in my last video. Is IUGR can be really hard because some babies measure smaller and they follow their own growth trend, but as long as they continue to follow their own growth trend, they consider it to be fine. It's when they start to plateau is when they start to get concerned. Now, babies with IUGR usually are on a smaller slope, so like they're below average, but they still should be climbing at their own rate. And if they aren't, that's when like flags start to be raised. And usually that's why they monitor weekly or bi-weekly, because they are looking for those growth trends. Now, we had an ultrasound 2 days ago and she was measuring 2 pounds, 2 ounces, and now she's measuring 2 pounds, 6 ounces. And all of this is just an estimate of weight, right? My fundamental height is 4 weeks behind. That is something that is 4 weeks behind. I am petite. I guess I'm smaller. I'm grateful for that, but for the last 2 days I beat myself up over it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've always been so grateful that I haven't gotten such a big belly, and it's been cute, it's been little. Like I just felt like I was super grateful and blessed for that. Like I just felt like I just was happy that I wasn't super big. And then when I found out that she was not growing properly, like I felt the instant amount of guilt. Like, oh my God, like I cared about my body way too much and now she's not growing, but she is growing. I'm just showing smaller, and she just likes to be a really deep down in my cervix. She's head down and she's low in my stomach and also towards the back. Like the freaking ultrasound tech was like in my sides, like really digging down underneath, trying to get to see her and stuff. So she is far back, and she likes to cuddle with my spine. That's always kind of been a trend here with her. But anyways, good news. It was all good news, you know, especially the pericardial effusion. That can be a death sentence. They call it high drops. Anything over 2 millimeters is high drops, and it can be life or death scenario. It ends up putting pressure on the heart, and the heart isn't unable to pump like it should, and it will go to cause you to, pretty sure I read cardiac arrest, or something around those lines. Don't quote me on that, I'm not a doctor, but we are very lucky they didn't even see any fluid at all. We still are not out of the woods for IUGR, but we are out of the woods for pericardial effusion, which is good. And I know that I left a lot of people like on a cliffhanger, but both of those things that they were telling us that she was facing were very serious. IUGR can be very serious. Your baby can be born at 38 weeks weighing no more than 3 pounds. And that is NICU time. Your baby's not developing properly. They're not getting the nutrients they need. And they call it, there's asymmetrical and symmetrical. And what happens a lot of the time with IUGR babies is that the abdomen and the heart, or the heart, where the abdomen and the head get all the nutrients, because the brain and the heart need most of it. So that's where they see the big swelling of those organs, or those body regions, the head and the abdomen. But hers was measuring fine, about a week and a half behind, but just small but healthy, but not on the chart for IUGR. She's probably gonna fall. They didn't give me a percentage, but at the bottom of the ultrasound machine, I could see all the measurements that she had, and it would say like the average range. She was pretty much always on the 20% cusp, so that doesn't put her in the IUGR risk category. Like IUGR is under 10%, but it does just make her small. So we will just see. We'll wait it out 2 more weeks. I'm lucky we had the opportunity to go to this appointment as quickly as we did, but we have a healthy baby as of right now. So I couldn't be more blessed that we had good news and that she's healthy and she's growing like she should, just smaller. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was very like not traditionally like me, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. Normal videos will resume, I promise. I just took a couple days off for myself because it was just so overwhelming, and I felt like I could lose my child, and that was a lot to deal with. So thank you guys for being patient, and I thank you guys so much for all the people who sent prayers over on Instagram. You guys are amazing. I tried to respond to as many as I could, but there was a lot. So if I missed it, I'm so sorry. I tried to respond, or at least acknowledge that I had gotten it. But I hope you guys have a super blessed day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring. And if you are someone who's looking at the fact that your baby might have IUGR, pericardial effusion, and that's how you found this video, I am praying for you, and I hope that it has the best outcome for you. And I pray that you don't have to deal with it, because it's hard. It's so hard to deal with. Even if you don't know, the unknown is what's killer. Once you know, I feel like it's better, even though it could be worse. The unknown is horrible. So you guys are in my thoughts and prayers if that's why you're here. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.